I'm Kevin Carnes. As your lead clerk and comptroller, I'm committed to ensuring you have helpful and easy to access service from the clerk's office. This how-to seminar is designed to assist you in navigating your court services and Lee County's official records. You can attend these sessions in person or view them online at leeclerk.org. I hope this convenient service enhances your customer experience with my office.
Hello, and welcome to your Lee County Clerk of Court and Comptroller's Office how-to webinar on how to file a petition with the Value Adjustment Board. My name is Yesenia Williams. I'm the Community Relations Manager with your Lee Clerk and Comptroller's Office, and I'm excited to go over this information with you today. A brief overview of our webinar. So we'll go over some general information about the Value Adjustment Board, also referred to as the VAB. So you will hear me use those two terms interchangeably throughout the presentation. We'll discuss the process associated with filing a petition with the Value Adjustment Board, as well as the evidence requirements that are associated with filing a petition. The filing fees that are required when filing a petition, we'll touch on those, and the information related to the hearing process. Finally, we'll go over some available contacts and resources. The County Record Services Office is who facilitates the processing and accepting of the Value Adjustment Board petitions. We are located at 2201 2nd Street on the 3rd floor of that building pictured here in downtown Fort Myers. Our contact number is 239-533-2328, option 3 when you dial that number. And our email address is info.vab@leeclerk.org. So what is the Value Adjustment Board? The Value Adjustment Board, also VAB, is an independent board that was created by Florida Statute Chapter 194 to accept and process petitions that contest real property and tangible assessments, exemptions and classifications, refund of taxes for catastrophic events, qualifying improvement or change of ownership or control, or property not substantially complete. I want to take this moment to just give you some context on this process as a whole. So there are three constitutional offices that are associated with this process. The Lee County Property Appraiser's Office is associated or responsible for property assessments. So the Lee County Property Appraiser actually does the property assessments. The Lee County Tax Collector's Office is who collects the taxes. And then the Lee County Clerk's Office, which is who's facilitating this presentation on the Value Adjustment Board, is who manages the dispute process through the Value Adjustment Board. So there are three different constitutional offices associated with property assessments, collections, and disputes by design, and this is for the purposes of checks and balances. So the Value Adjustment Board itself is comprised of 6 members. It is 2 county commissioners, 2 school board citizen members, 1 Board of County Commissioner appointed citizen member, and 1 school board appointed member. The hearings themselves are conducted by special magistrates. The board does not attend the hearings, but they are part of making the decision, and we'll go over what that looks like. The deadline to file a VAB petition. So within 25 days after the Property Appraiser's Office mails you your truth and millage notice, also referred to as the trim notice, which this usually happens in mid-August, is when that deadline is to file a petition with the Value Adjustment Board to contest your property assessments or any of the things I mentioned earlier in the presentation. So for instance, if the Property Appraiser's Office mails the truth and millage or trim notice on August 18th, for example, then you would have until September 12th to file a petition to contest those property assessments. So something that's also available to you through the Property Appraiser's Office is the informal conference. So you do have a right to request what's called an informal conference with the Lee County Property Appraiser's Office. You can do this by contacting them at 239-533-6100 or visiting their office at 2480 Thompson Street in Fort Myers, Florida. This option, again, it is available in addition to filing a petition. So as I mentioned earlier, you only have 25 days from the date that that trim notice goes out to file a petition with the Value Adjustment Board. So you can participate in the informal conference, but participating in the informal conference does not extend the petition filing deadline. You are able to both request the informal conference and also file the petition with the clerk in order to ensure that you still meet that deadline to file the petition. So to obtain a petition, there's a few ways that you can do that. You can visit our office at the address I mentioned earlier in the presentation, or you can access it on our website at leeclerk.org/VAB. The Property Appraiser's Office also has VAB petitions, as well as the Florida Department of Revenue's website. The easiest way to file a petition is by doing it online. Again, this is the easiest way to file. It is available 24/7 once these filings can be accepted, which means after the trim notices have gone out. If you do decide to file online, you will receive notifications and documents all online. You're welcome to scan this QR code. It'll take you to the page where you can file that petition online, or you can visit us at leeclerk.org/VAB petition. If you do not wish to do it online, you do have other options available to you. You can do it in person or through the mail. In person, you'll visit us at our location at 2201 2nd Street on the 3rd floor. Or through the mail, you can mail in your petition if you decided to obtain it elsewhere. You can mail it into P.O. Box 2469, Fort Myers, Florida 33902. So once you've filed the petition with the clerk's office, you are required by the Department of Revenue to also file evidence. So there are very specific rules outlined by the Department of Revenue for evidence exchange. It must be submitted at least 15 days prior to your hearing, and it must be provided to both the Property Appraiser's Office and the clerk's office. Filing fees that are associated with filing a petition with the Value Adjustment Board, it is a non-refundable $30 per petition. If you do it online, it is still that non-refundable $30 per petition, but there will be an additional convenience fee as well per petition. I do want to note that petitions for transfer of homestead are different in price. Those are $15 per petition, but only if you are filing to contest transfer of homestead. Otherwise, it is the $30. So once the clerk's office receives and processes your petition, they will schedule a hearing. Once we schedule a hearing, we will then send that notice to the filer, the petitioner, whether that is through email or mail. You are able to choose on the petition how you choose to accept it. These hearings do typically begin in the month of October and are held every day. They're typically held up to 15 minutes. We do have remote hearing options available. Petitions may request a virtual or telephonic hearing within 5 days of filing a petition with the clerk's office if they are unable to make it to their hearing in person. So if you do need to reschedule the hearing, that is possible, but there are certain steps that you need to follow. So the petitioner will need to file a good cause statement with the clerk's office. This good cause statement can be sent through email at infovab@leeclerk.org. Once we receive that good cause statement, we will send it to the Value Adjustment Board, and a Value Adjustment Board designee will review and make a decision. Once that decision has been issued, the clerk's office will provide the decision to the petitioner. I do want to note that failure to appear to the hearing may result in an automatic denial of your petition, and this means that the hearing will not be rescheduled. So really important not to fail to appear to your hearing once you have it. So the hearing has taken place. One important thing to know is that that decision will not be issued at the hearing. So please do not expect that a decision is going to be made at the hearing itself. Once the hearing has taken place, a special magistrate that was at the hearing will write a recommendation. At the end of the Value Adjustment Board season, the board, which is comprised of the members that I mentioned early on the presentation, will review the recommendation and make a decision. Once this decision has been made by the board, the clerk's office will provide it to the petitioner. Something really, really important to note is that filing a petition with the Value Adjustment Board does not issue a stay on the payment of taxes. In other words, if the specific due date that is outlined for the payment of the taxes is still applies. You still must pay those taxes by that due date. Filing a petition doesn't mean that that date gets extended or that there's a hold placed on that date. So I mentioned earlier that there are 3 different constitutional offices associated with the property assessment, collection, and dispute process. So just to highlight when you would call what department or what office. So you would contact the property appraiser's office if you need to ask questions about the assessed value or exemption of your property, if you need to change your mailing address, or if you need to file for homestead and other exemptions such as senior, widow, or veterans. And again, you can contact them at 533-6100 or by visiting their website at lipa.org. You would contact the tax collector's office, which is the other constitutional office associated with this process, if you need to pay your current or delinquent property taxes. You need to learn about partial payment, installment payment, and homestead tax deferral plans, or if you need to print your tax bills and receipts. They can be reached at 533-6000 or leetc.com. Finally, the third and final constitutional office, which is yours truly, is the Lee Clerk's Office. So you would contact the Lee Clerk's Office if you are interested in filing a petition with the Value Adjustment Board to contest those property assessments. So you can visit our website at leeclerk.org for a myriad of information. You can email one of our subject matter experts on our county records team at infovab@leeclerk.org or giving us a call at 533-2328 option 3. We also have this how-to video on our website as well as a PDF version of the presentation as well. The Florida Department of Revenue has some great information on their website. Also, you can visit any one of these links if you access the PDF version of the presentation. These are all clickable links. You can get information on policies and procedures, a taxpayer guide on petitions, as well as some important notices about the payment of taxes. That concludes our webinar for today. Again, my name is Yesenia Williams. My direct contact information is on this slide. You can call me at 533-2763 or by email at ywilliams@leeclerk.org. I encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter by visiting leeclerk.org/subscribe to find out about all of the great things here and with the Lee County Clerk of Court, such as presentations like this one. Thank you so much for watching.